I was just walking by the back one. I noticed that this pin on the stabilizer that keeps this lower part in one of two positions is just hanging here. Look at that. That was gonna fall out any minute, and then I'd probably lose it out on the land. And I don't know how much this part costs, but this is heavy. This is probably somewhere between 3, 4, 5 pounds, something like that. Just solid metal, really heavy pin. You don't wanna lose something like that. It's gonna cost you a fortune. But I was thinking kind of metaphorically that these machines require a lot of maintenance to keep them running strong. I've spent, I don't know how much time and energy on this machine maintaining the filters and the hydraulic system and cleaning it and greasing it and inspecting it and troubleshooting electrical problems. But I want this to last for decades, not just 10 years, but 20, 30, 40. As much as I can get out of this, I want. And I started thinking about the number one machine on the ranch that would be catastrophic if it broke down, and that's this one. We men, especially, and the majority of you that watch this channel are men, and a lot of you are probably working on equipment like this, or you're out doing stuff in the fields or on your homestead, and you're absolutely invaluable to the longevity and the stability of your homestead. What happens if we break down? We're always worried about our machines, but what about us? So today I thought I would cover the top 5 things that I've been doing since I sort of had this renaissance period come over me. I guess I just realized one day that I have to take care of myself, and I want to live not just a long life, but a productive, able-bodied, strong, capable life. I have cardiovascular disease in my family, and I've got some genetics that are probably not favorable, like Lp(a), if you know what that is. It's a genetic thing that no lifestyle change can overcome. There might be some drugs in the future, but these are things that I'm working against. So everything else in my life, in my body, has to be optimal to make sure that the things that I can't do anything about don't end up taking me out. So today I want to share with you the 5 things that I do to try to maintain optimal health and longevity well into my 100s. And I think where we are with science today, that's absolutely possible. But you've got to maintain, you've got to take good care of yourself to get what we call longevity escape velocity, with some of the new science that's coming through with medicine and CRISPR and gene editing and everything else. And I want to be around for a long, long time. As much as I want this machine to be around and working and strong and functioning in the next several decades, I want me to be able to do the same. So I'm here to share with you today what I've come up with as the top 5 things that mean the most for your longevity, health, and your ability to thrive well into triple digits. The way to get started on this, guys, if you haven't already, the number one thing you have to do is the diagnostics. You have to get some labs done. So you need to work with your doctor to have them pull labs to check your kidneys, your heart, your blood sugar, insulin sensitivity, all of these major markers. A lot of this stuff you can learn about on YouTube, by the way, but your doctor should be able to help walk you through it. But the more educated you are on what it is that you're trying to do for your, where you are in your life at your age group, the better off you're going to be. You use your doctor like a co-pilot, but you're the one that's really driving your health. But you can't fix something if you don't know it's broken. So I go get this full set of labs and I look at it with my doctor. I get on a virtual appointment because we're way out here in the middle of nowhere in Utah. And I need someone to look at this with me and coach me through it. But most lab reports today, they're going to tell you if your result is within range. It'll tell you what the range is. It'll tell you where you are. And if you're out of range, it'll flag it in red. So you can very quickly look through and see where your issues are. I'm something called a lean mass hyperresponder. So when I went on the keto diet, my cholesterol shot up really high. There's good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. There's ApoB, there's Lp(a). There's all these different factors, and it's one big picture. So just because it's red doesn't mean you're in big trouble and you're going to die and you need to go on a statin. You need to look at it objectively with everything else, and each individual has their own health picture, which can be diagnosed individually by your doctor. So once you get your results in, then you can look at what's going sideways or maybe pushing up towards high normal, and you can take corrective actions. That may be something that helps lower your blood pressure. It may be something that helps you regulate your blood sugar. You can wear a CGM or a constant glucose monitor on your skin. It's like a little adhesive thing that goes on your arm, and it'll tell you all throughout the day where your blood sugar is. So every time you eat, you can tell if it's going too high or if it's catastrophically low, or if you go to the gym, does it go up? Does it go down? All of these things will start to help you develop a picture of where you're at and how your body reacts to the things you're eating your exercise and other, stressors in your life. This is where it all starts. It's labs. Now, not only did I do labs, but I did something called a CIMT. CIMT stands for Carotid Intermedial Thickness Test. So it is the lining, and whether or not you have plaque developing in the lining of your carotid artery. Now, what happens in one artery happens in all arteries. So instead of looking directly at the heart with a much more expensive like CT angiogram, where they're going to basically put something in your blood and they're going to look at your heart with a CT scan. This is a 15-minute test that anybody can afford. And you may, if your doctor doesn't provide it, just go pay cash, like $200. Get the results, and your doctor should refer you to a cardiologist that can help look at this, because this number one silent killer is cardiovascular disease. Most people that die, I think it's 40% of all cardiovascular deaths, had no symptoms. They took a stress test, they got on a treadmill, they were breathing into the machine, they didn't detect any blockage or any slowdown and flow through any of the arteries. They said, yours like an 18-year-old, and they sent them out into the world, and then they die of a massive heart attack, because the flow rate is not what's causing the problem. It's the plaque breaking apart, clotting, and then blocking your heart that way. So understanding this stuff is something that you need to get into on your journey. Number one is look at your look at your panel, your blood results with your doctor. And I would strongly recommend, especially if you're over 40, to get a CIMT ultrasound. You just lay down for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. They run this thing around. They don't inject anything. It's really easy. It's inexpensive. And it will tell you if you have anything to worry about or not. And then, if you do, you can take corrective action and reverse it and make that plaque either go away or turn into a calcified plaque, which is a lot less dangerous than the gooey, sticky plaque that can get in your arteries and cause a lot of problems. So diagnostics is number one. Number two is absolutely nutrition. Now, I can't believe I'm actually going to show you inside my refrigerator. I did not stage this. I'm kind of running impromptu here today, guys. I'm just running off the cuff. Okay, I didn't plan this. This is a little messy in here, but I want to show you the way that I eat so that you can get an idea of how important it is. I don't starve myself. I eat a lot of things that I love, and I'm very fortunate that my wife is a great cook. If you don't have that, that's okay. You can order food online and get meals delivered to you. You can cook yourself. There's lots of ways you can do this, but you absolutely cannot be eating junk food. If you're eating at Applebee's and McDonald's and wings and things and places like this, you're going to run into problems. Okay, that is going to cause you, almost guaranteed, you're going to run into problems eating that kind of food. There's lots healthier ways to do it. So we just have all sorts of prepared meals in here. This is like some sort of casserole that she made, but it's going to have wholesome ingredients in it. We've got a lot of vegetables that are pickled and canned, and little snacks that I've got all throughout the day. This is some sort of a rice and bean and protein concoction that my wife came up with. We've got salads that we buy, and I don't use salad dressings because there's too many preservatives in there. I use a balsamic vinegar and olive oil. Nutrition is a deep rabbit hole to go down. You do it one day at a time, and you'll start to get better and better and better. And then as you're looking at your blood work, you're changing your diet. You're switching from eating brownies to eating strawberries, maybe with a little bit of heavy cream on there. I've got all sorts of little berries here. Berries are good for you, okay? You wouldn't want to eat all this in one sitting, but berries in small portions with maybe a little bit of whipped cream or even a little bit of heavy cream poured over them. It's delicious. And you will get to where you don't crave those other sweets anymore. That doesn't mean you can't go to a birthday party or a wedding and have a piece of cake. Of course you can. It's just that you can't come home and have more cake, and you can't eat late at night, and you can't eat 10 meals a day, and you can't overeat, you can't eat a lot of sugar and processed carbs and eating out at junk food all the time. It's going to cause you problems. It'd be like running cheap gas or putting sand in the oil in your engine of your heavy equipment. That's not being dramatic. That's causing wear and tear. It's causing the pipes inside your arteries to wear, and you're going to start accumulating plaque. You could get diabetes, and some of you may be diabetic and you don't even know it. This is where it all begins. Lots of proteins that are ready to warm up in the microwave. I'll pair that with the salad. I'll pair that with, here's some broccoli, but I eat pretty good. We eat tasty food. It's wholesome food. It doesn't have any preservatives. And we spend a lot of time and energy, and quite frankly, we do spend quite a bit of money on, premium meats. I'm not a vegetarian or anything, but we'll go eat, organic when we can. We'll go to the local farms around here and get food from the local farmers grown right here in Utah, organic, pesticide free. And that along with the correct portions and stopping eating early so that your body has time to digest before you go to bed, you'll sleep better. So there's a lot to it, but absolutely I would put this in category number 2. So you do your diagnostics, you start to eat better, and then you redo your diagnostics and see what effect that has on it. And now you're starting to get the flywheel spinning up. One little hack I want to show you too is I get this little machine, I'll fill this bottle up to this line right here. There's a little line right there. You just fill it up with regular water out of our Berkey where we filter our well water. And then you take that and you put it in this machine and close it. And then you're gonna push that button and it puts CO2 into the water. I have that on a drying rack right now. But here is my carbonated water. Okay? Delicious. That's as good as Pellegrino any day. And this is, I'm not putting anything in the landfill. I'm reusing these bottles over and over again. I have 6 of them, and I drink about 4 to 5 of these a day, plus whatever else I have on my meals, and that makes sure that I'm hydrated properly. Because part of the diet is hydrating. You can't get what you need out of those cans of BAM or Red Bull or a beer and all these other things. You got to drink a lot of water. You got to stay hydrated with pure. Don't gum up the system with all that junk and that sugar. It's going to make your blood sugar go through the roof. It's going to make you sick, okay? So this is a cool hack. I really love just regular water. They also make little drops you can put in here to give it a little bit of flavor without adding a lot of sugar. And this is a cool way to go. And if you don't want to get this machine, there's no electricity. This is called Aqua Fizz. If you don't want to get any machinery like that, you can just order these little bottles, little Pellegrinos here. And also we like a lot of these Spindrift. These come in all different flavors. And we just keep our drinks separate here so we have more room in that fridge for all that wholesome, nutritious food. So number 1 is diagnostics, number 2 is nutrition and hydration, and number 3 is to get into the gym and move your body and get your heart pumping. So let's go down and take a look at that. So when we first started putting this gym together, we were living in our other house. And we were coming up here and we didn't have a gym here. So we started buying a second set of equipment up here. So things like this rack. This is a squat rack. You can adjust these little J hooks on here anywhere you want to put your barbell on so that you can rack it. Do pull-ups here. Pull-up bar here. We have 2 of these racks, so one for Maggie, one for me. We ended up putting the mirrors on the wall just to make the place look bigger and to reflect the light off the ceiling to make the room feel brighter. I did add, this is one of the first things I added here in Utah. It's really nice to have a set of cables. And we have our dumbbells over here. So we've got our wall balls, box jumps, barbells, whiteboard here where we write up the WOD or the workout of the day. We have our CrossFit clock so we can keep track of the time and intervals. Pretty much we're in here every day, guys, every day. And I'm gonna explain why this is so important here in a minute. Here's Maggie on the Peloton tread. This is a great machine that kind of elevates up, so it's like hiking inside. And you probably wonder, well, we got all this beautiful land out here, why don't we just go outside and hike? Well, because sometimes during the day, the UV is really brutal, and as like it is today, it's really windy and dry. So it's just more pleasant to be inside, but we can look out the window and see the beautiful mountain over there. These are some rowers. These stand up in this upright position to conserve space. We've got 2 of those. And over here is the assault bike, which is my personal favorite for doing my 4x4s workout, or VO2 max, which is really getting your heart rate up near to your maximum heart rate for a sustained period of time, then rest, and then do that in intervals. The benefits of strength and cardiovascular training cannot be underestimated. If you could bottle the effects and the way that you feel from doing these exercises, it would be a blockbuster $1 trillion drug, but no such drug exists. The benefits can be obtained through daily exercise. You got to put the time, you got to put the work in. The reason why cardiovascular and strength training are so important to your longevity are that you are sending a signal every time you do these exercises and lift weights, for example. You're sending a signal to your body to say, we're not ready to get old yet. We're still working. You need to stay prepared. You're signaling that your bones need to stay strong and dense and calcified so that you don't fall. I mean, nothing will take you out as you get older quicker than a fall if you've got brittle bones, or if you don't have the musculature to stabilize yourself, or the coordination and the balance to stabilize yourself from falling. So these are all things that you have to work on and basically train your body to stay active and stay well balanced strong enough to do the work that you enjoy doing so much outside. And you're sending that signal that we need to maintain muscle mass. We need to be able to have a heart that can pump a lot of blood because we're going to need that. And you're showing it every day that that's what it needs. Because if you don't do that, your body will just sort of relax and it'll begin to go into a state of atrophy. It just doesn't feel like you need to do that anymore. So a lot of people will retire. They'll sit around the pool, or they're having a margarita and they're watching a lot of TV, or they're playing golf. They're not really telling the body that, hey, we need to keep going in this youthful way because all that's over. We're retired now. So your body goes, okay, cool, we'll just wind down. And you begin to weaken, and everything softens, and you become less prepared. And you wonder when you go outside why you're getting off balance, or why you can't jump up into the truck, or lift heavy bags of things without injuring your back. It's because you've allowed your body to get the signal. It got the wrong signal, okay? It got we're not maintaining this machine anymore. We're just gonna let it go downhill because basically it's in its last throes, and it's just gonna age out like a normal human would, 60, 70, 80, done, okay? If you wanna live well into your triple digits with strength and vitality, you're gonna have to do the strength and cardiovascular training. Now, it does amazing things. It builds up sleep pressure, so you're gonna get tired at night when you lay down and sleep better because you've exercised your body and it's done something hard and worthwhile, and it's ready now to relax. Instead of going to bed with pent up energy that keeps your mind going, you can't sleep well, you'll lower your blood pressure very often. So it'll keep your blood pressure in check. It'll keep your blood sugar in check, so you don't have to worry about diabetes, and that also ties in with the diet. And it will do just all sorts of things: a bone strengthening, muscle tone and mass, which are the key to longevity. So all of these things are really maintained only in one way, and that's by working your body. Now, once you work it into your routine, this can be really rewarding and kind of fun. It just becomes part of who you are and how you live your life every day. If you're running a ranch and a homestead, you're gonna have to make sacrifices to make time for the strength training and conditioning. I probably spend about 2 hours a day between the conditioning and the walking, and some days I rest and relax. I've got all these wearables. I've got an Aura Ring, a Whoop, an Apple Watch. I've got an SpO2 monitor that I wear at night to make sure that my blood oxygen levels are staying high. And that's a good way to parlay into number 4, which cannot be underestimated how important sleep is, okay? Let's talk about sleep. So I probably should have put sleep as number 1 because it is one of your most useful tools to be able to get nice, deep, restorative sleep that enables your brain to recover and to sort things out, which is great for mental clarity the next day. But it also allows your body to go into a restful state, and your body will release growth hormone into your bloodstream, which helps heal your muscles, your soft tissues like ligaments, so that you recover and you feel recharged and ready to work and hit it again hard the next day. If you don't get good sleep, you'll wake up groggy, you'll have brain fog, you feel tired, and it sort of slows down the flywheel. Getting to bed at the same time every night and getting up fairly early so that you get a jump on the day, I think is crucial to your longevity protocol. And I don't think that there is a better lever, because if your sleep sucks, everything else is gonna suck, okay? So you cannot overlook this. And I think so many people just sort of get scrolling on their phone, or they're watching TV, and they know that it's getting too late, and then it's 11 o'clock, and then they're up at 6 the next morning. You're gonna wear yourself out. Just think of it like your heavy equipment. You wouldn't wanna redline that for too long without giving it a chance to cool down and rest and recharge the batteries, or you're gonna burn the machine out. So we're really no different. Which takes me to number 5. Number 5 is your emotional well-being. And I know a lot of guys don't want to talk about that stuff. It's too foo-foo, and you were raised to be tough, and I get all that. But this is something I recently discovered, and this absolutely will help you with your longevity. The life we've chosen with off-grid living and building a homestead and being outside all the time, and it's backbreaking work. It can be really defeating. It can be frustrating, and you can feel kind of down, and like the world is kicking your ass sometimes. And I think that having a nice balance between that type of feeling, which is kind of a heavy, difficult thing to get through, and something that really is uplifting and makes you feel that BDNF, or that brain-derived neurotropic factor, which is allowing all the thoughts and the synapses to connect in your brain. It basically is helping complete your sense of well-being. But the number 1 thing I think, and this is so important, this probably should be number 6, but I'm gonna roll it into number 5, and that is a sense of purpose. So what we did when we built this place, it wasn't just to create a bunch of hard work for ourselves. It was a sense of purpose for getting away from things that we couldn't rely on, that we felt vulnerable to, and having a sense of being self-preserved, self-sustained, and independent of the bad decisions that politicians and other people are making that cause chaos, and all of these things that are on the world that we can't control. But in this world that we built, we can control it. And that is a sense of purpose that will keep you going. You know, in the blue zones, the areas where people live well over 100, like not just a couple of people, but generations of people living over 100, like in Okinawa, Japan, for example, is a blue zone. They feel very connected with the community, and the elderly have a purpose, you know, equal to or somewhat in sync with the youth. So they're constantly surrounded by younger generations, and they feel like they have a role in society and not just put out to pasture. And I think that getting out into the garden and walking around the community and knowing people and interacting in a social environment and having a network of people around you that you can laugh with and enjoy meals with creates a sense of purpose. So it's connection to the community and a sense of purpose will take you well into the triple digits. So that's my little spiel today, guys. If you want to learn more about why I ended up here in Utah and why I sold everything, my businesses, and I live an off-grid homestead lifestyle, I'll leave the trailer for my YouTube channel right here.